Hi everyone, welcome back to day 2 with our book Whistle for Willie by Ezra Jack Keats. Today we're going to be making some connections with the story. When you make connections, you notice when parts of the story remind you of things that have happened in your life or the lives of friends that you know. We're also going to be doing more retelling work. I'm going to show you how to retell a story in your own words. When you retell a story, you don't want to say the exact words that are in the book. You want to put it in your own words. It shows you really understand what happened. There's going to be times where I stop and ask you to tell me what happens next, or do you remember what happens in this part of the story? That's when you will stop and talk to a partner. So make sure you have a partner nearby to talk to. All right, here we go. Whistle for Willie. All right, here is the first page. This is when Peter is wishing he knew how to whistle. And this is why he sees another boy whistle to his dog, and his dog comes running right away. And he's wanting to do that with his own dog, Willie. So he tries a couple times, it doesn't happen for him. So he decides to occupy himself by spinning around really fast. Do you remember what happens next? Turn and tell your partner what happens next. Oopsie oopsies. That's right, he got really crazy dizzy. Look, it even looks like the stoplights have come off because things are just spinning. Have you ever spun around like that? You can understand how Peter's feeling. So then he sees a carton and he sees Willie coming. So he jumps inside the carton and he tries and tries and tries to whistle, but nothing happens. So Willie just keeps on walking on. And then he's bored again, so he gets out his chalk and he starts drawing a line down the road around the girl's jumping rope. And he makes it all the way to his door, right? And he tries to whistle some more, but it still doesn't happen. His cheeks are getting really tired from trying. Ooh. What do you remember about this part of the story? Tell your partner right now. This is the part where he puts on his dad's hat and he tries to pretend like he's a grown-up, because grown-ups can whistle, right? So then he also pretends to be his dad with his mom, right? He starts talking to her like he's her husband, and she plays along with him. All right, next, he's trying to get away from his shadow. Can you do that? No, you can't. He's able to jump away from it, but when he lands, it comes back. Oh, what happens in this part right here? Turn and tell your partner. Right, Willie's coming around the corner again, so he jumps back in the carton. And this time he tries and tries and tries, and finally, what happens? A whistle comes out. And Willie's all like, huh? What was that? What happened? Right? Exactly what Peter wanted to happen. So he jumps out of the carton and he yells, "It's me, it's Peter." And then, just like dogs love to do when they see you for the first time in a little bit, they run over to you. Probably gave him some wiggles and some kisses. All right. What happens next? Turn and tell your partner what happens next in the story. He was so proud of himself that he ran all the way home to show his mom and his dad how he learned how to whistle. And they all loved it. Do you remember what happened in this part of the story? His mom sent him on an errand and he whistled all the way there and all the way back. All right. Now I want to ask you a comprehension question. Why do you think Peter pretends to be his father? Turn and tell your partner. Why does he pretend to be his father? So maybe you said what I had mentioned earlier, that grown-ups can whistle, so maybe if he put on his dad's hat, he'd be able to. Or maybe he was just feeling bored and wanted to do some pretend, because that's always fun to do. How does the story end? Do you remember what happened at the ending? Go ahead and tell your partner. He finally learns how to whistle, right? And then he gets to go, at the very, very end, he goes on an errand for his mom and he practices his whistling. How do Peter and his parents feel at the end of the story? And why do you think they feel that way? Turn and tell your partner. Pause me if you need to. So maybe you said they were impressed by Peter. Maybe they were proud of him, right? Try to use some more juicy words other than just happy, okay? Really think about some other words that might be more interesting than happy. All right, this one is going to be your discussion question, so make sure you listen carefully. I want to know, what is something that is hard for you to do? And how do you feel when you try to do it? What's something that's hard for you to do? So at the beginning of the story, Peter was trying to whistle, but he couldn't do it yet. What's something that you're trying to do, but you can't quite do it yet? And how does it make you feel when you try? That is what you're going to answer in our discussion question, and I can't wait to read what you write. All right, join me tomorrow for some vocabulary. Bye.